Let's talk about reaction to it, because Angus Robertson, leader of the SNP in the Parliament, is with me. And you got up this morning at home, snowing. This was the last thing you expected, isn't it?
Yeah, I was scraping the snow off the car windscreen, and the fact that there might be a UK general election wasn't going through my mind in those cold temperatures, and it still wasn't on my mind when I got on the plane to fly down from Aberdeen. But as soon as I landed, it became apparent that there was going to be a general election. So it's a surprise to most people, and it's obviously a massive U-turn by the Prime Minister, who said that now's not the time for elections or referenda because she wanted to apparently concentrate on negotiating Brexit. Well, now we are going to have a general election. We're Democrats, so we're up for the fight. And do I think when it's a straight two-horse race in Scotland that people will vote SNP or they'll vote Tory? I think people vote SNP.
You have all but 3 seats. I mean, this is for you to lose seats, isn't it? And if you do lose any seats...
Look, with the greatest humility, no democratic politician should go into any election taking any vote for granted or any seat for granted. But it is true to say that the SNP holds almost every single seat in the country, but we don't hold all of them. So is there room for improvement? Yes, there is. And we will fight to win in every single seat in Scotland, because there are great stakes at play in this election. Because, of course, the reason why the Prime Minister is holding an election has nothing to do with Scotland. It's everything to do with English politics and the weakness of the Labour Party.
She would say it's about Brexit. She says this is about Brexit and having the strength to negotiate from a position of unity in Westminster. She said there is none at the moment.
She's not going to have unity at Westminster because, with the greatest respect, people in Scotland are not going to vote Tory. And so it is going to remain a disunited kingdom. We voted by 62% to remain in the European Union. We're fighting to protect a place for ourselves in Europe and resisting Tory austerity and all the rest of it. So there's not going to be unity at Westminster, and who wants a one-party state in a parliament anyway? We are sent here because we have
that's what you have in Scotland, isn't it?
No, we have proportional representation, and all political parties are represented in parliament according to the strength. But where you are correct in suggesting, and the SNP is very popular in Scotland, and that's why we have many members of the Scottish Parliament, and that's why we have many members of Parliament here at Westminster. And when voters in Scotland are confronted in a context of the Labour Party and the Liberal Democrats being electorally finished, that it is a straight choice between a moderate mainstream SNP that wants to protect our position in Europe, that is opposed to the austerity agenda, that's not anti-immigrant, that doesn't support a rape clause, an ever more extreme Tory party. I think when the choice is between those two things, I think people in Scotland will vote SNP. And I should say, incidentally, thank you for all the kind messages I've been receiving today asking whether the SNP will stand in the rest of the UK, but I have to disappoint and say we have no plans to stand in the rest of the UK yet.
Well, have you spoken to Nicola Sturgeon since this announcement?
Yes.
I'm just wondering if you both went, oh, she shot our fox. We're going to get a UK election before we've got a second referendum.
No, not at all. I mean, the first thing to say in relation to the referendum, of course, is that the Scottish Government has a mandate to hold that referendum, and the Scottish Parliament's already voted for that referendum to take place. So that has already happened. But what this election will be about is whether people in the UK as a whole, and Scotland specifically from our point of view, are prepared to give the Tory party a blank cheque to pursue a hard Brexit. And we didn't vote for that. Even people who voted Leave in Scotland didn't vote for the kind of hard Brexit that we're heading towards. It's going to be massively damaging, and I don't think that's what people want. So given that, and people will have a choice, I think in Scotland people would much prefer to vote for the SNP than vote for a hard Brexit Tory party.
What does this mean for Labour in England, do you think?
I think it's really bad news for the Labour Party in England. You look at their polling numbers, they're the worst since 1983. Apparently the Labour MPs are in despair, expecting to lose their seats. What you're actually seeing is a massive realignment in English politics, and then by extension UK politics, where the centre weight of political gravity is moving to the further to the right, and not in a good direction. And unfortunately, I mean, I fear for people in England who don't have a viable political alternative that can beat the Tories. Thank goodness we do in Scotland, and that's why I think the SNP will do well.